Let's dive right into this explainer of ACIM Lesson 99. Today, we're going to focus entirely on one singular, deeply profound concept. And the core message of this lesson is simply this: salvation is my only function here. Now, if you've ever read the text of A Course in Miracles, you know it can sometimes feel, well, incredibly dense. So my goal today is to unpack this text and make it understandable for everyone, so you can really grasp what this message is trying to portray and actually apply it to your life.
To do that, we're going to break things down into 4 quick sections. First, redefining our terms, then looking at truth versus illusion, crossing the metaphysical bridge, and finally, getting into your daily practice.
So, Section 1, Redefining Terms, a new paradigm for familiar words. We're going to start by totally stripping away those heavy, traditional religious definitions you might be used to.
Here's the absolute crucial point to get right off the bat. In this text, salvation doesn't mean being rescued from some fiery afterlife, right? According to the Course, salvation and forgiveness actually mean the exact same thing. They both imply that something has seemingly gone wrong, something amiss, that needs corrective change because it's different from the will of God. But here is the real secret. It's the realization that something completely impossible has occurred. Honestly, it's exactly like waking up from a really bad dream. When you wake up, you don't need to fight the monsters you were dreaming about. You just realize they were never actually real to begin with.
This quote is so interesting because of how it frames our everyday suffering. Basically, our pain is just a glitch in our perception. It's a state of conflict between reality, what actually is, and something that could literally never exist outside of our own minds. So the impossible becomes the very thing you feel you need forgiveness for, or salvation from. Both of those terms just mean a mistake was made in your mind, not that you committed some unforgivable sin in reality.
Moving on to Section 2, Truth versus the Illusion, the core conflict of the mind. This brings us face to face with a massive metaphysical split that the text asks us to confront.
And here we see this stark contrast. On one side, we've got absolute truth: God, love, unity, eternity, the things that never, ever change. And on the flip side, we have illusion. This covers the separated mind, pain, grief, loss, and even time itself. Now, the text points out a really tricky paradox here. To the mind experiencing it, truth and illusion both feel entirely equal right now, simply because both seem to have happened. Those illusions of pain and separation, yeah, they feel incredibly real, but only because our separated minds are currently thinking them.
So where exactly does salvation fit into this split screen? Well, the text tells us that salvation is the borderland between these two states. It reflects the truth because it's the specific tool you use to escape the illusion. But fascinatingly, salvation isn't actually the ultimate truth itself. Why? Because its only job is to undo what was never truly done in the first place. It's essentially just a giant eraser for the illusion.
Have you ever felt utterly disconnected from peace? Just wondering how on earth you're supposed to reconcile the very real pain of the world with the idea of a loving universe? That is literally the exact question this text poses. You see, the mind that sees illusions thinks they're real because they exist as thoughts. But they aren't real because a mind thinking separated thoughts is totally out of alignment with its source. So how do we fix this massive split?
That brings us to Section 3, the metaphysical bridge, bridging the divided mind. To answer that question, we need to look at this specific blueprint provided in the text.
The text introduces the concept of the Holy Spirit, but again, scratch whatever preconceived notions you might have. Here, it isn't a dogmatic figure at all. It's described as a thought of God. Think of it as a timeless plan or a bridge that miraculously holds the ultimate truth of unity completely safe, while simultaneously recognizing that you, in your current state, believe pain and time are real, and that you desperately need a gentle way to undo them. I find this realization so incredibly comforting. This plan, this thought of God, looks directly at all the grief, the sickness, and the loss we experience, and it remains entirely unshaken. Why? Because it knows that despite all these terrifying appearances, one thing is still stubbornly true: God is love, and a world of pain is absolutely not His will. It sees the mess, but looks right past it to the changeless truth.
Okay, on to Section 4, your daily practice, applying the lesson today. We've got the philosophy down, but how do we actually use this blueprint to find peace right now?
The text gives us some highly specific homework to start rewiring our minds. Step 1, consciously acknowledge that all this pain is not God's will for you. Step 2 is a big one. Forgive yourself for ever thinking He wanted the suffering for you. We so often carry this subconscious guilt, thinking we somehow deserve our pain. You've got to let that go. And step 3, let the light enter the darkened places of your mind. Stop hiding those fearful, isolated thoughts and just open your secrets to a kindly light.
So here's exactly what the lesson asks you to do today. Start your longer practice periods by stating, salvation is my only function here, salvation and forgiveness are the same. You're asked to take just 5 minutes to gently lay all your fear aside. Throughout your day, whenever you feel tempted by doubt, deliberately forgive any of those solitary thoughts that oppose your peace and your completeness. Just keep reminding yourself that you literally have no function that is not of God, and you cannot lose the gifts you were given.
It really all loops back to this beautifully simple concept. Forgiveness and salvation are the same. You don't have to go out and change the entire world. You just need to forgive the illusions you've built up in your own separated mind. You forgive what you think you made, that whole identity based on pain and fear, and the conflict just dissolves. You realize you're still exactly as you were created.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with these mighty words from Lesson 99. The text promises us that these words have the power to remove all forms of doubt and fear forever if we let them. Salvation is my only function here. God still is love, and this is not His will. So, take a close look at your life today. What illusions of pain, fear, or separation are you holding on to that you're finally ready to forgive, knowing they were never meant for you? Keep that question with you as you go about your day.